I have discussed about a very serious cybercrime, that is cyber terrorism. We are traveling into another very strange world which is called as darknet. There are two kinds of webs available in the darknet. One is deep web and the other one is dark web. In this session, I'm going to discuss about what is this darknet, how does this operate, why law enforcement has to worry about it, what are the kinds of crimes committed in the darknet, how do we deal with it, how internet is very much essential here. Of course, darknet is a place in the internet. And how do we catch these criminals, or how do we arrest these criminals? How to do justice to the people who are victims of those crimes committed in the darknet? We are going to discuss all these issues in this session. So, dark web is a fascinating world to a few, or at least to those people who want to commit crimes. It is a fertile ground where you name the crime, starting from trafficking of women, trafficking of children, trafficking of children, and weapon trafficking, and shows wherein snuff films are shown, wherein cannibalism is also encouraged. You name the thing, you will find it in the dark web. So this is a world in itself, but a world which makes us feel ashamed that we are born as human beings. To introduce this darknet to you, or to those students who never heard about it for the first time, dark web or darknet is that non-www part of the web. When you use Google Chrome, Firefox, we are all surface net users. We are operating in the 5% of the net, but rest of the 95% is nothing but darknet. How do you enter into the darknet? How do you navigate into it? Onion router or Tor web browsers is the only way to access to this darknet. Initially, Tor was designed by the US Naval Research Lab as a pipeline to protect confidential information. But there is absent of sufficient information as to how the usage got changed. And now this darknet is completely encroached by the criminals. And the hallmark of darknet is anonymity. The hallmark of darknet is anonymity. And the medium of exchange in the darknet is cryptocurrency. So these are the important features of darknet. Then, what exactly is this? You can see the diagram there on the right side of the slide, where you can see the tip of the iceberg. This is called as WWW, World Wide Web. We are in this 5%. All of us, 95% of us, are working in this 5%, and this is called as ClearNet or SurfaceNet. Okay. Then comes deep web, then comes dark web. So this is how the net is divided. What is darknet? What is deep web? What is dark web? Right? I have told you that darknet is subdivided into deep web and then dark web. What is deep web? Deep web is nothing but you need to get into, if you want to get into the deep web, of course you can use the search engines like Google, but your entry is based on a password protected action. That means you need to have a password to get into this particular deep web. Like you have a Gmail account. This is nothing but a deep web. You have an online banking account. That is nothing but deep web, because to enter into your, or to log in into your bank account, you need to have a password, right? So this is what is called as deep web. Some examples of deep web you can see here. The first example is about your school portal. You want to get into it. Everybody can't, because you need to have a password. Online banking, then academic databases like websites like JSTOR, or university libraries have tons of research papers that you can only access with a subscription of student ID. Or your email, that could be a Gmail or some other mail. Unless a password is there, you cannot enter into this web. This is called as deep web. I hope it is clear. Now we are going to the dark web. What is this dark web? What are the things which are available in the dark web? Earlier I have explained to you that US Naval Research Lab has invented it. But what was the hallmark of it? Anonymity. So those officials, while talking to each other, they wanted that their identity should never be revealed to anybody. That's why they have invented this. Now, what kind of stuff is available in the dark web? Once you enter into the dark web, you will keep getting this kind of pop-up windows, what you're seeing on the screen. Gore porn videos, cannibalism. Okay, so what is this gore porn? It is like a porn video, but pornography plus violence. There is a video which is very popular in the darknet, in which it was shown that a girl, she appears with her pet animal, and then slowly she will undress herself, and that girl kills the pet using various kinds of knives and tortures it, blades it, and then with some sharp instruments. So this is how the video goes on. So this is what is called as gore porn. It is shown that people are tortured, they are slashed with knives, they are in full of covered, smeared with blood. Here I have a question, and I have read number of articles. Some people say that yes, people are killed on camera, and some say that no, it is all an act, a drama. It is not true. Some say that 50-50. Sometimes they are killed, sometimes it is only a drama. But whatever it is, this is something which a civilized world cannot accept. You can see here a photograph wherein a person is made to lie down there. This is a form of satanic worship. It's a form of satanic worship. Then there are red rooms. These red rooms are like shows, live shows. People will book tickets and the show will be announced prior, and that man will be tortured on demand of the viewers, and it will last for 2 hours or 3 hours. In the end, they show as if the person who is there for the show is dead, and with all the injuries which were inflicted on his body on demand of the viewers. This is another kind of video you can see. This belongs to gore porn. Like a woman is shown as if her body parts are cut. She is found in pool of blood, and the man who is committing these activities. There are two kinds of videos. One, the video will go on its own. Second, it is a live show. the man who is sitting there on the bed, he will perform the activity which you want him to do. The other one which you are seeing here, this is also a very popular video in the darknet. You can see a girl, a young girl playing with a small baby. As the video moves on, she will again undress herself and she will uh, torture that baby girl with her pen heels, with some other instruments. That is how it goes on. So, this kind of stuff is available in the darknet. This is the first category of content. The second kind of content is drugs. Dark web is Amazon of drugs, right? It's an Amazon of contrabands. So the moment you enter into it, you will keep getting pop-up windows wherein you will get advertisement. MDMA plus free ecstasy, 95% cocaine with worldwide shipping, all kinds of things. Okay. So this is a very, very important trade which they are into. There are many websites which sell products relating to drugs. One of them, which was very popular, is the Silk Road. This website was primarily engaged in trade of illegal drugs. Then Federal Bureau of Investigation continuously tried to track the location of the server or the people who were heading this or who were doing this business, but they could not arrest him for a long, long time. But however, a mistake in the system allowed the FBI to trace it. The mastermind was sentenced to life imprisonment and Silk Road website was closed. This was the website wherein all kinds of drugs, some are natural, some are synthetic drugs, all kinds of drugs were available and these products were displayed in the website along with the prices. There is another kind of website which is popular again. This is called as Playpen. And Playpen is popular for child pornography. Child pornography, we know now that this is worldwide banned, worldwide prohibited. Then this Playpen also got closed because of the glitch in the system, some technical glitch. But the FBI again has spent lot of time in chasing them and arresting them. 186 people were charged, but judge had a difficulty in giving them the conviction. This is what we get to learn from this. Then there is another popular website called as Black Market Reloaded. This website offers a service which is called as counterfeit money, fake visas, fake passports, right? All these kinds of services are available in this Black Market Reloaded. And the owner of this website is Michael Focia. He was arrested and also was prosecuted. Then there is another website by name Darklord. This is a curious website. These are kind of service they are providing. This is like, a group of people, an online and password protected forum where hackers and other cyber criminals, they will buy, sell, trade and share information and tools to facilitate unlawful intrusions into other computers and electronic devices. If you want to become a member of Darklord, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to be introduced by a member who is already existing there, like a bank does, If you want to open an account in the bank, some person who is already having an account has to introduce you. Same way, someone who is already a member of the Darklord has to introduce you. 1. 2, you should have a skill with you which you want to teach them. In turn, they will teach their skills to you, right? This is how this website or group of people operate. They learn skills of each other, like how to hack into the system, how to hack into the server, how to hack into the banking system, and how to crack the passwords. or many things, which whatever you have to teach them. In turn, they will teach whatever skill they have. This is one more very popular website available in the darknet. Then I have told you that this is a great marketplace for drugs. Rapture is another website which again sells drugs. They keep some, or they title them differently. If you can see there, Afghan heroin is named as Suleiman. Okay, then Afghan heroin is supposed to be the highest quality or purest quality of cocaine. Then there is the dexamphetamine tablets. Okay, then strawberry dog. This is another drug. So these are all drugs which are cannabis is available, ecstasy, opioids, all kinds of drugs you can see there. So people who get into the darknet, they order for these things and they will get. Moving on, how to get into the darknet. It is not easy to get into the darknet, or the normal search engines like Google, Internet Explorer, Firefox will not help you to get into the darknet. You need to have an onion router kind of a browser. Tor browsers are generally used by people to get into the darknet. And Tor web browser, why? What is the reason? This web browser offers you complete anonymity. Complete anonymity. I am telling you, once a person enters into the darknet and does something, that person can never be arrested by any policeman anywhere in this world. That's how it is very successfully running. Now, Tor, as I have told you, initially, the idea itself is not illegal. The idea of the US government was to promote free speech and privacy. Free speech and privacy. The identity of the person who made the statement is not known to anyone. That is what they wanted, right? Slowly, this is captured by the criminals, and slowly they started, using it for their own nefarious activities. Now, what actually Tor does? You enter into the darknet from one IP address. Then this Tor will change the IP address at least 3 to 4 times. These 3-4 computers will have 3 other IP addresses. They are called as nodes or relays. So they are part of thousands of computers which are connected to the Tor network. Finally, the message which you have sent will reach to the receiver from the 4th IP address, which is not yours. And for the law enforcement agencies like police, IP address is the only clue because of which, or basing on which, you can arrest the criminal. Is right. Moving ahead, these web browser, or these files which are found in this Tor web browser, they end with the domain called as .onion. .onion, you can see there in red color, not in .com or not in .org, right? The use of encryption and relays through the Tor network renders the true internet protocol or IP address for all traffic to and from the destination website on the darknet completely anonymous, right? Further, these marketplaces require their users to transact in cryptocurrencies, which add another layer of anonymity. Like Bitcoin is one kind of cryptocurrency, Monero is there, Ethereum is there. They add one more layer of anonymity to the already done transaction, right? This is how a perfect anonymity is maintained in the darknet. Then top markets include Dream Market, Wall Street Market, Point Free Market. Okay, they have 3,000 vendors, over 5 lakhs customers. They buy drugs, counterfeit items, counterfeit jewelry, stolen credit cards, child pornography, whatnot. Right. So this is the scope of the problem. Now, we have to discuss about a very interesting feature of darknet, that is the organizational structure. They are the kind of honesty, the kind of integrity maintained in the darknet is really, really appreciable and laudable. There are three main actors you can find in the darknet. One is administrator, second it is moderator, third one is vendor. So who is an administrator? These people, administrators generally, they are the founders of the business. So they develop a marketplace in the darknet. Suppose one X is interested in drugs. He will establish a website for selling of the drugs. So he will prepare a website with all kinds of photographs, with all kinds of information, okay? And this is the job of the administrator. And what they do, they also recruit people, the technological support who can help them in conducting the business, and also employees who can give them technical support, right? For all kinds of activities, their recruitment also is done by the administrator. Right side, if you can see, we are looking for a person. There is a screenshot I have I'm showing there. This is an advertisement given for recruitment of the employees by one of the administrator. He says salary is $5,000 to $8,500 a month via cryptocurrency. So I have told you, every transaction in the darknet happens through cryptocurrency. Then comes the second kind of actor. They are called as moderators. Who are these moderators? They are almost like judges in the real world. Whenever there is a dispute, okay, in between the vendor and the buyer, moderator will come into picture and he will settle the dispute. Now, how do they do it? Normally, what happens is there are some accounts which are called as escrow accounts. Escrow accounts, ESCROW, a kind of intermediary account wherein vendors have to deposit some money, right? Before they start the business, they will deposit some money. Buyers also generally they deposit some money. Now, as a vendor, 1X, he is putting a offer or a request with one buyer and he wants to buy some 100 grams of cocaine. Then this message has reached the buyer. Buyer will send 100 grams of cocaine to this particular X. Now there is a complaint from the buyer saying that I asked 100 grams but I only could get 90 grams. Then the dispute will go to the moderator. So normally what happens is while requesting or while putting an order, the buyer will also transfer some money not to the account of the buyer directly, but the amount will go to the escrow account. Now, if there is no complaint from the buyer and he has received the content or whatever good he has ordered for, he is satisfied with the quality and standard of it, then only the money which is deposited in the escrow will be transferred to the vendor's account, right? If there is a complaint that an inferior quality of drug is supplied or enough amount or 100 grams I ordered only 90 grams, 10 grams less I have received. If somebody complains, then immediately moderator will not transfer the money to his from the escrow account to the vendor account. He asks or orders the vendor to transfer the rest of the amount also, and then only money would be transferred to the vendor account. This is how moderators administer justice whenever there is a dispute in between vendors and buyers, right? Vendor, the third kind of operator is a vendor who is actually a seller, right? He is the one who is selling either porn material or weapons or drugs or fake visa services they are providing, whoever it is, they are called as the third actors in the darknet. Now, I've told you that integrity in the dark marketplace is maintained with the help of cryptocurrencies and escrow accounts, which I have already explained in detail. Now I am coming down slowly to discuss about the challenges and opportunities. Okay. The biggest challenge is when a police department or the law enforcement agency is able to locate the physical server, okay, they have located the server, but that server is in some foreign country like USA, like Iceland, like somewhere. Silk Road has servers in Iceland. You can see there on the screen. Blue whale game, all of us have witnessed very recently. Young boys aged 8 years, young boys, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, they committed suicide while playing the blue whale game. Apparently, we found that the server is located in Russia. Then people said that man died and now it is shifted to Switzerland, to some other country. So this is the major challenge for the law enforcement agency to take action against these people who are so deadly and who are so dangerous, who are killing people. Okay. Then data, how do we nab them? So there is a move from the side of Interpol. 70 countries have agreed to have a designated point of contact to act on preservation requests for electronic evidence. Any evidence available to the Interpol, that has to be given to that country where the victim is residing, right? To conclude, I would say that even if there is evidence, you will not get it. That is the major struggle, major challenge with the darknet for the law enforcement agencies to take action or to punish them. So what we need to do here is FBI is very strong department in USA. Maybe that is the highest standard, or no, or maybe that is an investigation agency which follows the highest standards. And they are so proud of their technology, their training, their quality, everything. Even FBI could not arrest people who are committing these offenses or who are dreaded criminals in the darknet because of the anonymity. So, what to do? How do we deal with when people are dying? Young children are kidnapped. They are subjected to cannibalism. People are trafficked. Drugs are pumped into the society. People are dying. Right? How do we deal with it? As of now, law enforcement agencies are very helpless. They are, what they do generally is, a policeman enters into the darknet as a buyer, as a buyer, as a consumer of some drug or something. And then he will collect the information. Problem with our system is, when you enter into it not as a policeman but as somebody else, that evidence which you obtain is not a legal evidence, it is an illegal evidence. And illegal evidence will not be accepted by the courts. That's a major problem. So, in order to deal with it, in order to deal with this problem, the world community has to come together. There has they have to cooperate with each other. There has to be a treaty which is like Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, simply called as MLAT. You can have a joint investigative team agreement, and then only it is possible to deal with this menace. Otherwise, all of us, every country is the victim of this darknet crimes. Thank you so much for a patient listening. A monster big thank you to you. Thank you very much.